Hello everyone, I'm Jennifer Jackson. Once I was the devoted daughter-in-law who bent over backward trying to please an impossible mother-in-law. Now, I'm someone who stood up for herself and discovered the power of karma. Believe me, you'll want to hear how this story unfolds. From the moment I could reach the kitchen counter, I knew baking was my passion. Growing up in the Boston suburbs, I'd spend hours experimenting with recipes in my mom's cozy kitchen. Now, at 32, I'm living my dream as the owner of Sweet Canvas, a boutique bakery nestled in Boston's historic district. The aroma of fresh pastries and the smiles of happy customers make every pre-dawn wake-up worth it. It's actually where I met Michael Thompson, my husband. He walked in for coffee, stayed for a cupcake, and asked me out right there. A whirlwind year later, we were married. That's when Patricia Thompson entered my life. Michael's mother, with her sharp designer suits and sharper tongue, had a way of turning compliments into critiques. You know what would make these desserts even better? Her voice echoes in my memory as she stood before the bakery display case, her critical eye scanning my creations. My friend's daughter runs a bakery in Manhattan. She uses imported French butter. Amanda, my assistant, shot me a sympathetic look while I mustered a polite smile. This was Patricia's way, offering unsolicited advice with an air of superiority. Just then, my sister Rachel strolled in. "There's my favorite baker, and those are definitely my favorite lemon squares in the window," she declared, her warmth a much-needed balm. Rachel has always been my rock. The bell jingled as Michael entered. "Mom, I thought you had a meeting with your decorator." "Just stopping by to help Jennifer with a few suggestions," Patricia replied, adjusting her scarf with a flourish. "Someone needs to guide her." I glanced at Michael, silently pleading for backup. He offered his usual helpless shrug, leaving me to fend for myself. Later that evening, as Amanda helped close up shop, she leaned against the counter. "You don't have to take this, Jess. Your bakery's thriving. Didn't we just get a glowing write-up in Boston Magazine?" I nodded, though my voice wavered. "I'm trying to keep the peace. Besides, the article speaks for itself." "Maybe," Amanda said, her expression troubled. "But something about Patricia feels off. Be careful, okay." I brushed off her concern. If only I'd known what lay ahead. Patricia's meddling was far more insidious than I could have imagined. The signs were all there, but I missed them until it was nearly too late. Patricia's 60th birthday party was meant to be the event of the season. When she asked me to cater it, I thought it was my chance to finally win her approval. For 3 days straight, I worked tirelessly, hand-painted macarons, a 6-tier cake adorned with delicate sugar flowers, and an array of her favorite French pastries. The night of the party, the marble foyer glittered with Boston's elite. As I arranged the final dessert display, I overheard Patricia's voice drifting from a nearby group. "Oh, the cleaning service did a wonderful job with the setup," she said, waving a manicured hand. "Maria, or whatever her name is, also bakes." My hands froze. Amanda, carrying a tray, nearly dropped it. Someone in the group corrected her. "That's your daughter-in-law." "Oh yes, of course," Patricia replied with a dismissive laugh. "She does own that little shop." "Speaking of bakeries, Catherine, how's your daughter's shop in New York? Michael always raves about it when he visits." My heart clenched. Michael visits New York? He'd never mentioned that. Later, while retrieving my coat from Patricia's study, I overheard her voice again, cold and calculating. "The plan is working perfectly," she said into the phone. "Once that shabby bakery fails its health inspection next week, Michael will finally see she's not good enough for this family. Catherine's daughter has real potential." The words hit me like a freight train. My phone buzzed, a text from one of my suppliers. "We regret to inform you that we must terminate our contract. We've received complaints about your business." That night, I confronted Michael. "Your mother introduced me as a cleaning lady at her own party, which I catered." I fumed. Michael sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. "Come on, Jess. You know how she gets at these events. She's under a lot of pressure." "Pressure?" I shot back. "She's trying to set you up with Catherine's daughter." Michael's laugh was hollow. "Don't be ridiculous. Mom's just networking." The conversation went nowhere, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. The next morning, Amanda called, her voice urgent. "Jess, you need to see this." She forwarded me emails she'd received, and my heart sank. Patricia had been contacting our suppliers, our bank, even health inspectors spreading malicious lies about Sweet Canvas. I can't believe she'd go this far, I said, my voice trembling with anger. Believe it, Amanda replied grimly. And there's more. Remember those bad reviews that almost ruined us last month? I traced the IP addresses, they all came from the Thompson estate. As if on cue, Rachel burst into the bakery. Sis, you won't believe what I just heard at the gym, she said, breathless. Patricia's telling everyone you bought your good reviews and that your mentorship program is just for publicity. I stared at the photos from the party on my phone. Michael hadn't come home last night. In every shot, he was standing beside Catherine's daughter, with Patricia beaming in the background. The betrayal burned deep, but something else began to surface. Determination. If Patricia wants a war, she'll get one, I said, my voice steady. But she'll learn I'm not so easily eliminated. I've built my business from scratch before, and this time, I have proof of her schemes. The next morning, I began sifting through every email Sweet Canvas had received over the past year. Amanda's tech-savvy friend helped us recover deleted messages, and what we found left us stunned. Look at this thread, Amanda said, pointing to her screen. Patricia posed as a health inspector to scare off our suppliers. She even faked documents. Before I could respond, Rachel rushed in, phone in hand. Jess, you have to see this, she said. She pulled up security footage from her real estate office. It showed Michael meeting with Catherine's daughter and signing papers. He's been taking out loans against his properties, Rachel explained. Patricia's been covering for him, using her connections to hide the paperwork. My phone buzzed, a call from an unfamiliar New York number. Mrs. Jackson, a man said. This is Marcus Chen from the National Food Network. We're interested in featuring Sweet Canvas in our Hidden Gems series. Hours later, Patricia must have caught wind of it. She started spreading rumors of food poisoning at my bakery, but she didn't know I'd been documenting everything. Marcus called back, his tone calm but resolute. Mrs. Thompson, we received your intriguing email about Sweet Canvas. Funny thing though, we also received evidence of your systematic harassment campaign, including attempts to sabotage a youth culinary program. I could practically hear Patricia's world crumbling through the phone. Then came the final blow. Michael's office called to inform me that his gambling debts had exposed a massive fraud scheme at his firm. Not even Patricia's social connections could save him this time. You know what's ironic? Amanda said as we watched the scandal unfold on the news. If Patricia hadn't tried to destroy you, none of this would have come to light. My phone buzzed again. Another call from the National Food Network. They wanted to feature not just the bakery, but our entire youth mentorship program. And they weren't the only ones interested. A year has passed since Patricia's infamous birthday party. Sweet Canvas now boasts 3 locations across Boston, and our youth culinary program has become a national model. Today, I'm catering the mayor's annual charity gala, the very event Patricia once chaired with such pride. Did you see this? Amanda asked, showing me her tablet. Michael's firm had made the Wall Street Journal. The scandal not only exposed his gambling debts, but years of corporate fraud. Patricia's estate sale, she moved into a smaller condo. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she's taken up baking classes. A small part of me hopes she finds peace, far away from my kitchen, of course. Miss Jackson. Lily, now my head pastry chef, called from the kitchen. The Food Network crew is here for the final filming. The documentary, Second Chances and Fresh Starts, premieres next month. It tells the story of Sweet Canvas and the 201 culinary careers we've helped launch this year alone. As I stepped into the bakery's bustling front room, the mayor's wife approached with a warm smile. Jennifer, the other board members were right. Your story is so inspiring. We'd love for you to speak at next month's Women in Business Summit. Rachel arrived moments later, holding her phone with an incredulous expression. You won't believe this, she said. Turns out Patricia was skimming donations from those charity events she used to run. The DA's office is investigating. Before I could respond, a group of Patricia's former society friends approached me hesitantly. Mrs. Jackson, we're launching a scholarship foundation for underprivileged youth, one of them began. Would you consider joining our board? The irony wasn't lost on me. These were the same women who once looked down on my little bakery. Now, they were seeking my advice, not for revenge, but because they'd finally seen what genuine community support looks like. My phone buzzed again. Another email from Michael's lawyer. He was still trying to claim part of Sweet Canvas in the divorce. Thankfully, my business documentation was flawless. A lesson hard earned from watching Patricia's schemes unravel. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's living well, doing good, and letting toxic people face the natural consequences of their actions. Our story doesn't end here. Sweet Canvas has grown to 5 locations across New England, each with its own youth mentorship program. Last month, Lily opened her own cafe, and I couldn't have been prouder watching her cut the ribbon. Michael? He moved to Chicago for a fresh start after completing a rehabilitation program. I wish him well, but that chapter of my life is firmly closed. Patricia occasionally sends messages through mutual acquaintances asking to reconcile, but I've learned that some bridges are better left uncrossed. Just last month, the mayor's office named me Boston's Entrepreneur of the Year. During my acceptance speech, I looked out at the audience, Amanda, Rachel, my students, and even some of Patricia's old friends who've become genuine supporters. Success, I told them, isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Have you ever experienced someone trying to undermine your success while pretending to help? What would you have done in my position, maintained silence as I initially did, or confronted their manipulation immediately? Some people say I should have given Patricia another chance after everything came to light. What do you think? Did I make the right choice by maintaining firm boundaries, or do you believe in second chances, even with toxic family members? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.